This is TCT's Daily Major. I am Brian Nabreo, and these are your headlines. Prince Henry of Wales to be part of the sod turning ceremony for the Royal St. Lucia Turf Club. The opposition leader is very concerned about the issue of rape. The president of the Vendors Association spoke to TCT about a letter which he referred to as putting the cart before the horse, and civil servants, auxiliary workers and pensioners on the government's payroll in St. Kitts to receive an extra month paid this Christmas season. TCT's Daily Major is brought to you by Double A's Bottling Company, Farron's Food Products, Ramco Charming and One Caribbean Newspaper.
So nothing will keep us together. Oh, we can be heroes just for one day.
More than a third of our children are now overweight or obese, and some reports indicate this will be the first generation where the children might not outlive their parents. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in the United States, and the leading cause of death for African Americans, Hispanics, and whites. 25 million North Americans are diabetic, and roughly 2 million people are diagnosed with diabetes every year. BioSlife, the clinically proven natural fat loss.
For more information or to purchase this product, contact Ramji at telephone 716-1400 or 450-0495 or email ramj35@hotmail.com.
One Caribbean newspaper is dedicated to the unity of our people in one Caribbean nation. We invite you to write us and tell us what's bothering you. No matter what it is, as long as it's within the law and it doesn't offend public conscience, we will publish it. Send us your pictures. Tell us of your weddings. Tell us when, unfortunately, you have deaths, and we will publish the death announcements. One Caribbean is a newspaper dedicated to the unity of the Caribbean. Write to us at onecaribbeanltd@gmail.com or dennisdabero@gmail.com, and we will publish what you write as long as it is within the law and it doesn't offend public decency.
Welcome. The government of St. Lucia is pleased that His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales and the Kensington Palace have accepted the invitation to be part of the sod turning ceremony for the Royal St. Lucia Turf Club in Beaufort on Friday, November 25, 2016. The government, in collaboration with Desert Star Holdings Limited, notes the significant scope of the over $2.6 billion Pearl of the Caribbean project, of which the Royal Turf Clubs form part of. This project will be of immense benefit to St. Lucia in a variety of areas, including providing employment for thousands of St. Lucians, especially in the South. Desert Star Holdings Limited had been in discussions with the St. Lucia government for over 3 years on this project, which was finally brought to light in July 2016 when the new government signed a framework agreement to build the island's first and only international standard integrated development. Construction of the initial phase of the project is set to commence in 2017. The government wishes to thank Prince Henry of Wales for being part of this ceremony, considering the impact this project will have on boosting economic activity in the south of the island and St. Lucia as a whole. The government takes the opportunity to invite all St. Lucians to come to the site situated on the St. Jude Highway along the George Odlum Stadium to witness the historic proceedings at 3 p.m. on Friday. Opposition leader the Honorable Philip Pear, in an interview with TCT, stated that he is very concerned about the issue of rape, which he says must be taken very seriously.
I will tell you that rape is horrible. It's an offense that there is no clear answer. Nobody can dictate when a maniac will appear and commit these heinous acts. Nobody can do it. Nobody can predict that. I think that we have to treat it very seriously. We have to look at all aspects, but I must tell you, I'm extremely concerned. And also, we have to look at the issues, all the issues. We have to ensure that justice is done, as in most other criminal cases, justice must be done. But the whole issue of rape, it's a very serious matter. But as I said, I will not do like the government now when in opposition to blame it on them. I will not. What I'm going to say is the government must find a way to at least curb, or if not curb, show some interest, show some concern in issues surrounding rape, and the opposition will support them in this venture.
In relation to the issue of VAT, the opposition leader stated that VAT came about because of the changes in the way trade transactions are carried out.
On the question of VAT, sometimes when you hear discussions on VAT, particularly on the government side, you'll get the impression that VAT is something that just came from the sky, just landed, and the St. Lucia government is the only government that's ever implemented VAT. Truth is, the St. Lucia government was one of the last governments that implemented VAT. And VAT came about because of the changes in trade policy, the changes in the way trade transactions are carried on, where most of the revenue that comes from trading, comes from imports, used to come from import duties and consumption taxes. Now there are changes because of the instruments of the WTO. So governments find it very difficult to impose levies and levies on trade as they did before. Hence came VAT. VAT actually is a tax on consumption. It's a transaction tax. The consumer only pays VAT when he purchases goods and services. There is discussion also on the rate of VAT. As we speak, the rate of VAT in St. Kitts is 17%. The rate of VAT in Barbados is higher than St. Lucia. The rate of VAT in several other countries is 21 and 25%. So the rate of VAT is a question that didn't happen. VAT wasn't put at 15% just because somebody guessed it. VAT was placed at 15% because there was need to reach certain ratios. There was need for the economy to clear the enormous deficit that was making us, that was unsustainable, and that was making it difficult for any meaningful growth of the economy. Hence the reason why VAT was placed at 15%. But there are some important caveats that we have to deal with. There was no VAT on electricity, there was no VAT on water. Now, I heard the argument, which is very ludicrous, that water was increased by 66% and VAT is 15%. This argument is patently dishonest. VAT is a tax on transactions. So VAT on water would come when you consume the water. The 66% increase in the price of water is for the cost of water, the cost of delivery of water, the cost of maintaining a regular water supply. So to make the assertion or to say that it is wrong and cruel not to put VAT at 15% of water, but to increase the water by 66% is a real dishonest argument. And so you promise no VAT on water, you promise no VAT on electricity, we promise no VAT on electricity, and hence there's no VAT on these items.
Honorable Philip Pear also made mention of the zero-rated items which were put in place under the former SLP administration.
In terms of VAT on groceries and food items, we decided that there are a basket of goods that the lower income people always consume. There are a basket of goods that people who are poor consume. So hence, there's either no VAT on these items or many of them were zero rated. Hence the reason it is possible for one to go to the supermarket and purchase goods and pay no VAT on what they buy because of the exempt or zero rated items.
President of the Vendors and Dry Goods Association, Mr. Peter Ross Isaac, spoke to TCT about a letter which was sent to the vendors by the Castries City Council, which he referred to as putting the cart before the horse.
On the 16th, we received a letter from the Castries Constituency Council, from the town clerk, and copied to the mayor. And this letter, in fact, came to me directly, the president of the Vendors Association, which I had to sign for. And this actually said that there will be a meeting on the 21st of November with the vendors at the vendors arcade. But without any kind of input from the vendors executive, and we never had a meeting with the Castries Constituency Council to discuss anything in terms of vendors' concerns and the way forward. In terms of to tell you the truth, based on convention, what has happened in the past is that when you have a new council in place, first thing they ask for a meeting with the Vendors Association executive, and we discuss with them the situations and our concerns and their concerns, put them abreast as to what happened before, what happened in the past, and we move forward, we move on from there. We had a tour of the area with them, in fact, and they assured us that whenever anything they have to do, they would give us a call and to call us into a meeting first. But what we notice is that they have negayed on this promise, and that they are going ahead and doing things at the vendors arcade without any informing the executive or having any kind of discussion with the executive. But this letter we sent, this letter that was sent to us. And the day in question is the day where there will be 3 cruise ships in the harbor. That is the Monday 21st. So we wrote back to the Castries Constituency Council and told them, well, we think they are doing this thing in the wrong way. They are putting the cart before the horse, and that we believe that they should have a meeting with the vendors executive first, which we think that's supposed to be the protocol. And let bygones be bygones, and because to us it's like rather disrespectful to want to have a meeting with the Vendors Association, the vendors at the arcade, and not the Vendors Association first. We sent a letter to him telling him, look, listen, the best thing to do is to sanction a meeting with the vendors executive, and we'll take and going forward. And we're looking forward for his early response. But we didn't get a response from him to say, well, he inviting us to the executive at any meeting. He went over our heads and invite the vendors to send up a memo yesterday for a meeting to be held today. And we consider it to be, more or less, under the CDC cover, we kind of diplomacy, and we think that this is definitely not the way to go in this time.
The Mayor of Castries has announced his commitment to adopting a business approach to running the operations of the Castries Constituency Council. The pronouncements were made by Mayor Peterson Francis while chairing a meeting of his heads of departments. Mayor Francis made reference to the manner in which the local government department was being managed and the need for restructuring and innovation. A clear roadmap will be developed articulating the vision of the CCC and aimed at advancing the work agenda of the Castries Constituency Council. The Mayor promises to establish and implement new processes which will improve the functioning of the office. Mayor Francis stated, provisions must and will be made for the modernization of the council. The CCC will begin to focus some of its efforts at revenue generation so as to better equip it to satisfy its mandate and to meet some of its core functions such as the beautification, maintenance, development and security of the capital. The Mayor also noted the council will launch a few initiatives which will see it partnering with other agencies such as the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. You are watching TCT's Daily Major. Still to come, civil servants, auxiliary workers, and the pensioners on the government's payroll in St. Kitts to receive an extra month pay this Christmas season.
Crystal clear, yeah. That's what we drink when I want to quench my thirst. Bring a bottle of crystal clear, yeah. It's so refreshing. I don't want no other water. The choice is crystal clear. Cool the temperature, revitalize me with. Give me a bottle of water. All on the road is inside the bottle. Everybody's drinking water. Crystal clear, yeah. It's so refreshing when I want to quench my thirst. Bring a bottle of crystal clear.
The choice is clear. Crystal Clear. Premium, purified drinking water from Duboulet's Bottling Company Limited.
The way you smile at me is everything I dream.
How is that boy running up?
The way you smile at me.
Your Lucelec bill has been redesigned to give you more information. The top portion of your bill contains an invoice number, Lucelec's VAT identification number, and customer address. A past due stamp is displayed if your payment is overdue at the time of billing. Ignore it if you've already made your payment. To the right is a barcode for easy processing of your payments at Lucelec's customer service offices only. The billing summary highlights any amounts due from the prior billing, total of all payments made between your last bill and your last payment date, any other charges or credits to your account, any fees for returned checks or reconnection, VAT charges on these fees, the balance brought forward, your current charges for the billing period, the total amount outstanding on your account, and the date by which it should be paid.
Experience the flavor of icy. Icy, yeah. Icy. Pop it up. Let's start the party. Ooh, yeah. I like the flavor. Ooh, yeah. I love the taste. The orange and the pear, the cherry and banana, the apple, ginger beer, or strawberry for your mama. Grapefruit, cola, champagne, sorrel if you wanna. Quench your thirst first, have a icy soda water. Icy, yeah. Icy. Pop it up. Let's start the party. Ooh, yeah. I like the flavor. Ooh, yeah. I love the taste. Icy. Experience the flavor of icy. Bottled by Duboulet's Bottling Company Limited.
Ramco pasta is a master. Your staple of choice because the quality is superior. No gluten, no white flour, 100% semolina. Ramco pasta tastes better, I swear. Ramco pasta forever. When I using mac and cheese, bon. Give me some more, please. Ramco have variety, go Betty to Betty and Fusilini. Ramco, the taste we know, met you. Now available at all leading outlets. Distributed by Ramco. For more information, call 450-0495.
Thanks for staying with us. Negotiations between the management of Callas Brothers Limited and the National Workers Union have reached a satisfactory settlement. Over 60 workers employed within the company's bakery operations will benefit from the new industrial accord. They will receive a lump sum payment ranging from $250 to $400, an $80 wage increase in year 1, along with a $20 wage increase in year 2. Fringe concessions include overtime, sick leave, maternity leave, meal allowance, trade union education leave, and guarantee of a 40-hour work week. The company and the NWU will be signing the new agreement soon. Staying with the NWU, the recognition issue between the management of the Bank of Nova Scotia Limited and the National Workers' Union will have to be settled through a secret ballot poll. This procedure is in keeping with Labour Act No. 37 of 2006. The Department of Labour has summoned the parties to a pre-poll meeting this coming week. During the industrial conversation, the parties will agree on a date, time and venue for the holding of the secret ballot poll. All other logistical arrangements will be put in place. The completion of this process will signal the resolution of the matter one way or another. Addressing a meeting of the cooperative sector which was held recently at the Pastoral Center, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries, Physical Planning, Natural Resources and Cooperatives, the Honorable Ezekiel Joseph, stated that it cannot be business as usual for the fishing industry.
But I want to say to our fishermen that since receiving an official request from the Fish Marketing Corporation, in fact we got it earlier from the Central Marketing Board, and the farmers, most of them have been paid because that request came in much earlier than the fish marketing request. I have since approached the Minister of Finance, who, based on the information that we received, now if there's a shortfall, do not blame the Ministry of Agriculture. Based on the information that we received, I have approached the Minister of Finance, and he has agreed to commit $700,000 to pay the outstanding. So during the course of this week, by next week, we shall be seeing that most of our fishermen will be paid. But we can't continue that way. We can't continue each time our fishermen find themselves in a situation where the marketing board or the fish cooperative cannot pay, they call on government. Like was said by Mr. Elvik, the cooperative partners of business. We expect the Fish Marketing Corporation and the Central Marketing Board to operate as a business. What we have done, I don't know if you had an opportunity to interact with the consultants, but since I came in, I approached ICA to assist us in looking at how we can restructure these entities. And that's why I can stay here the entire day with you all today, because this afternoon the consultants are here to report to the PS and myself as to the findings and the recommendations. We need to look at how we can make changes to these entities so at least they can provide the service that are necessary to assist the development of the agricultural sector.
Steps are being taken to solve the problem of mathematics education in the Caribbean region. The Caribbean Development Bank recently hosted a two-day workshop in Barbados for mathematics education stakeholders across the Caribbean region. Mathematics specialists and lecturers from the various universities and teachers' colleges from Belize, Jamaica, the OECS, as well as Trinidad, Guyana, and Suriname were in attendance. The participants reviewed the research conducted by the University of the West Indies on the topic, Understanding the Realities, the State of Mathematics Education in the Caribbean Region. In addition, the participants identified reasons for the poor performance in mathematics throughout the region. Deputy Chief Education Officer for Instruction, Rufina Charles, says the conference was timely for St. Lucia as the Department of Education, Innovation and Gender Relations has made it a priority to tackle the issue of students' poor performance in mathematics in a very aggressive manner. The meeting concluded with participants developing a framework for action on mathematics education in the Caribbean. The framework intends to focus on policy, curriculum, teacher preparation, assessment, instructional resources, and gender disparities. Following this meeting, a two-day mathematics symposium will be conducted on January 31st and February 1st, 2017. Funding for the hosting of the Mathematics Symposium and development of handbooks has been approved by UNESCO in the sum of US $18,000. On the regional scene, Caribbean 360 has reported that it's shaping up to be a jolly good Christmas for civil servants in St. Kitts and Nevis. That's because Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris has promised to pay them double salary this Yuletide season. He disclosed that an extra month's salary would be paid in December to all civil servants, auxiliary workers, and pensioners on government's payroll. The Prime Minister said the payout would benefit not only federal employees and pensioners, but also those on the payroll of the Nevis Island administration. My government encourages all entities in the public and the private sectors to make a very special effort to deliver a gratuitous payment to their employees in December, Harris said in an address. He estimated that $30 million would be pumped into the economy as a consequence of the bonus. Further afield, the United States government has restarted deporting Haitian immigrants and says it will pick up the pace in the coming weeks. Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson said in a statement yesterday that more than 200 Haitian nationals had been deported in recent weeks. Recently, we have seen an increase in the number of those apprehended on the southern border. I have instructed our border security and immigration enforcement personnel to take steps to keep pace with this increase, he said. Johnson added that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement plans to significantly expand removal operations in the coming weeks. Haitians currently covered by the temporary protected status will not be affected by the resumption of deportations. Deportations were halted to Haiti for most immigrants after the 2010 earthquake that killed more than 220,000 people and severely damaged the country's infrastructure. But Johnson announced a decision to detain and deport newly arriving Haitians in September. The deportation flights were then temporarily suspended after Hurricane Matthew hit Haiti on October 4th as a Category 4 hurricane, devastating the southwest of the country. Now for the weather report. Present weather at Turanora, partly cloudy with showers nearby. At George Charles, partly cloudy. Sunrise tomorrow, 6:09 a.m. Forecast for St. Lucia valid for the next 24 hours. Winds will be blowing from the east-northeast near 17 miles or 28 kilometers per hour. Weather fair to occasionally cloudy and breezy with a few showers. Seas moderate with waves 4 to 6 feet or 1.2 to 1.8 meters. Forecast for the Lesser Antilles. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms over the southern half of the Lesser Antilles. Elsewhere, fair to occasionally cloudy skies with a few showers. Tropical weather outlook. Moisture and instability in the atmosphere over the Lesser Antilles will cause some cloudy periods, showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly over the southern portion of the region during the next 24 hours. Finally, unbelievable, but true. Here it is. This one is unbelievable, for real. We now invite you to have a look at the first dance, which they say is always awkward. Talk about awkward. The guy knocked the poor wife completely off her feet. She could not even stand after. Boy, boy, boy. Talk about love. Anyway, here is where we come to the end of this edition of TCT's Daily Major. But before we go, another look at the headlines. Prince Henry of Wales to be part of the sod turning ceremony for the Royal St. Lucia Turf Club. The opposition leader is very concerned about the issue of rape. The president of the Vendors Association spoke to TCT about a letter which he referred to as putting the cart before the horse, and civil servants, auxiliary workers and pensioners on the government's payroll in St. Kitts to receive an extra month pay this Christmas season. TCT's Daily Major was brought to you by Double A's Bottling Company, Farron's Food Products, Ramco Chowming, and One Caribbean newspaper. As usual, on behalf of the entire news team, I am Brian Dabreo. Thanks for viewing.